All right, man. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I don't know why everything kind of moved a little bit glitchy. My bad. Happy Friday. We up in this thing. I decided to go live on this Friday evening, my good brothers and sisters. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Spence fans coming out of high. Not to seeing some aerosexuals, you know, who ain't made videos in almost a year, coming back, start making videos and starting to get back in the mix. You know, when that money get funny, when the money is the motivation on YouTube and you stop making money off of a motherfucking name, you got dudes that claim, well, you know, I don't make no money off nobody name. I don't put nobody name in my title. But then again, excuse me, when you can't, you know, make money off Spencer Crawford and off Crawford name and dragging Crawford through the mud no more, then you lose the motivation to do YouTube. And most of these dudes, they big initiative in YouTube is to make money, and that's it. Is to make money. So once you pay, so once the money gone or the money get funny or the donations ain't what it used to be, you know, once it ain't what it used to be, bruh, you know, it ain't the same no more. Then you don't have the motivation to do it. You know, then you don't, don't have the motivation to continue to do it. Now, when you genuinely love what you're doing and it's not about a dollar, that's why you can be as consistent as some people are on YouTube, because guess what? They love what they're doing. They like doing it. It's an infatuation. It's the love on it. You can always chill when somebody is not as interested in the topics that they on YouTube when they drift off, like I do, drifting off into relationships or stuff of that nature. But now that boxing seem to be getting back on track, and not just about Spence and Crawford with Javante and Ryan. You hear talks about whatever Canelo do next. I'm with it. If it's Benavidez, if it's Bivol. Hear rumors about, we're going to talk about Thurman and Yordenis Ugas. I mean, now boxing is coming back like cook crack. Jarron Ennis getting in the groove. He going head up with Virgil Ortiz. I'm going to speak on that. So when that motivation is gone about money, that's why they tell you you should do what you love to do. You know, find something that you love to do and it doesn't feel like a job. And you will be happy, because, you know, you got a lot of people clocking a lot of money, but they not happy. They dreading doing, you know, not doing what they want to do. I forget which, if it's Andre Agassi or Pete Sampras, the ball-headed one. His dad made him play tennis. He didn't want to play tennis. He just didn't really love it. You know? So, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, you got to actually do what you got to find something that you enjoy doing. You don't necessarily have to love it, but a lot of these dudes just on here pushing a narrative, pushing a lie, not knowing how to spin a narrative, you know, spinning so many narratives. And when they took so many L's, you know, then they just disappeared and said, well, you know, I don't want to do it no more, because no, man, you know, you got to come on here with your chin up, you know, with your chin up. You got to take your wins like you take your losses. As simple as that. You know, if Errol Spence was to win, a lot of these dudes going to be bouncing back like a dribble. Talk about, well, I've been talking about this for 10 years, and guess what? A lot of motherfuckers' channels is just not predicated on Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. You see a lot of channels that was predicated on on Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and they disappeared after Pacquiao Mayweather. You see some of them trying to get back into the mix now, because guess what? All the numbers come back down. Then you got to basically do a changeover in topics, and now you got to talk about things that's less interesting and rebuild your audience up. When your audience is when it's built on something well and something that can be a broad topics, you'll be good. You know, or you do a great job of segueing into additional content. You know, so a lot of these dudes, you notice, like, damn, you know, this dude ain't did content in almost a year. Now they see, oh, not a fight happening. Now I could turn around and make a lot of money. Now I can get my numbers back up. And if he win, and then we back. We back like 4 flats on the Cadillac. We back. We in full effect. You know what? And it is what it is. And then you got some of these content creators who like to pander towards the popular opinion. You got a lot of those guys who like to just play to the popular opinion. I ain't saying no names. I always tell you guys, there's always a space for everybody on YouTube. That just like to cater to people's opinion. There's a lot of Trump people that was fake Trump supporters who milked the shit out of the Trump community when they was on here bug dancing and cooning and tap dancing for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Even if they didn't believe what they was pushing, they was just here to cash out on Trump, just like they cashed out on Black Lives Matter, which I heard is going bankrupt. Not surprised. When the feds get involved, are you really surprised? So you kind of got to understand that when your business or your platform is not built on a solid foundation, you're gonna fuck around and find out real quick. Now, some people can pivot it. Some people can build up their fan base like Derrick Jackson to the point, even though his numbers ain't what it used to be, to the point where if he wrong, a lot of women just gonna still agree with him. But women are some of the most gullible people out there. And I always tell y'all that because that's why the retention rate, and I don't need no numbers to prove this. The retention rate in church, women has a higher retention rate in church than men because men wake up and see the bullshit when they go through life. They don't live in an imagination, most of them. Some of them still do. But women, you can always play with their emotions. You always can manipulate their emotions, no matter how great a manipulator are. Once you understand how to manipulate their emotions and how to control them with words and all that, you ain't got to get physical. With most women, you can have them. That's why they say, well, these women are so masculine right now. But even a masculine woman or a bull dagger, dyke, or gay woman, whatever they want to identify in, butch, whatever y'all want to call them, even when they get around a real masculine man or a man that, is a man, they gonna, naturally submit. And I've seen that a number of times with women I work with, even if it wasn't even no effort. We was just cool and they would be women around me, but then, when they wasn't around me, around other people, they would want to go back to being dudes. So, like I continue to say, man, it's just, we knew it wasn't sustainable. Now they could come back if Errol Spence win. Hey, man, at the end of the day, you got to give him his credit. But we all know he waited Terence Crawford out. We all know, he could say, well, it was Al Heyman, it wasn't me. But then again, you going around saying you was the boss. But we going to get to that. We're going to talk about Roiman Vila, Jarron, Ennis, Thurman, and Yordenis, Ugas before we get around with that. So make sure you thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. La la D, I saw that too. Yeah, I'm like, damn, where this nigga been at? You know what I'm saying? Where she been at? DM Josh Sports, salute. Salute, Chris, what's going on? He said it was 90 degrees here. I thought I was about doing running. I'm like, nah, I got it tomorrow. Yeah, it's 90 degrees here. It don't really feel hot to me though. But then again, yeah, my air conditioner out of my car. I think I need a recharge, so I'll do that tomorrow. Juice Lee, salute, was popping. He said they go with the popular opinion until the popular opinion goes against their own personal narratives. And I did hear some ramblings of Black Lives Matter mishandling some financial funds, but I didn't look into it. I just heard it. I felt like you named them all. And that's just what it is, bro. Like when, Wilder lost and all these dudes lost, these dudes just disappear. When Devin Haney popped back up, then they start popping their head into, back into the mix. And it's like, okay, it's whatever. I don't, it is what it is. But I don't really like play them games. But let's talk about Jarron Ennis and Roiman Vila. They are actually going to fight. It was rumblings that it was going to be towards the end of July. They figured on July 8th. I guess they didn't want too close to Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I think the perfect thing would have been able to do, in my mind, would have been able to have that fight the week after so you could do a live replay of that fight. But Keith Thurman said he shouldn't be fighting too long after Spence and Crawford. So, maybe mid to early to mid-August. So, at the end of the day, I actually like this fight for Jarron Ennis. Roiman Vila, I seen a little bit of him versus Rashid Ellis. Looked at his resume. He kind of like had a split decision with a Mexican who had 6 losses, got 7 now. So you just never know, especially if that fight was in Mexico. But they're going to be fighting at the Borgata in Atlantic City. I'm thinking about going against this. But the interesting thing that I didn't really think about this fight until I did the video earlier, I was like, damn, bro. One thing about this fight that I really didn't pay attention to is this fight is going to be going head up against Jarron Ennis and Amanda Stoyanis. So I don't know if they just was like, you know what, we didn't want to do. I think Frank Martin is coming back July 15th. So I don't know if they just say we didn't want to go July 15th, July 22nd, July 29th. And then you probably do want to do a fight the following week to do a live replay. So I don't know if they didn't want to do it that way, that was too many fight dates in a row. So I can't really call that. But hold on. But yeah, they supposed to be fighting July 8th. So these two dudes gonna be going head up against each other July 8th. So Virgil, and then they ain't gonna have no plans on either side to make them fight anytime soon. If you hopefully in Spencer Crawford fight, they unconstipate the welterweight division. Man, you hoping, you wishing on the star. You Rolls Royce, because that ain't happening. They gonna build this shit up just like they build up the rest of the big fights. You may not see them fighting today at 154, 160 pounds or something like that. So that black and brown tension a little bit different too. So they might kind of make that on a faster fight. So you got to think about it as well too. So these dudes, Virgil and Jarron Ennis, gonna be going head up on the same Saturday. Now you turn around and you say, well, and you got to think about it. He fighting on the 4th of July, well, the weekend of the 4th of July. I think the technical 4th of July weekend will be the second, will be the first. It would be considered because it's 4th of July on Tuesday. So, I think Frank Martin said they think he got him fighting on July 15th. So I'm just thinking like they couldn't do July 22nd. Maybe they got something else in the cards, or maybe they didn't want to have a fight before the 29th or whatever. So, but yeah, Virgil and Jarron Ennis to be going head up. So, but the thing about the Ruben Villa fight, it's actually a good fight. Ruben Villa he got to bring a jab, and either he got to get off to a fast start, or Roiman, whatever I'm gonna just call him Roiman Villa, or he gonna have to survive early with a tight guard, and he gonna have to try to counter and catch Jarron Ennis, which he is a heavy-handed fighter, 87% knockout ratio. So I mean, I'm thinking about going to AC for this fight. It ain't too far, but I do think that Ramon Villa, if he expecting to kind of just coast in the first few rounds and then try to draw Jarron Ennis on the back end, I think this is gonna be a quick fight. I think Jarron Ennis gonna have this in 6 rounds under. Unless Ruben Villa either survived the early onslaught and then, Jarron started to fade towards the back end of the fight and he started to step it up a little bit, or, he able to just get off to a fast start and make it a fight of attrition down the stretch in the championship rounds, because we really ain't really seen boots in them championship rounds. But I actually think it's a good fight, but it's all about what Roiman Villa bring to the table. Colombian big puncher. But if he go out there and he let Jarron Ennis get into a rhythm, get into a tempo, I think he gonna get stopped pretty early. It might be some controversy about the stoppage or whatever, but I think he gonna get stopped pretty early if he don't either survive or step it up early. So it's a good fight. Boots probably showcasing, Virgil been showcasing, but unfortunately, they got to go head up against each other on July 8th, and I don't know why July 22nd wasn't, a formidable date. But maybe it's something else on the 22nd. Like Lala D said, on the 25th, you got, Nuyuwa and Fulton fighting in the middle of the week. And that same week, fight week is for Crawford and Errol Spence if they make it to the ring. So, but I do actually think this is a great fight stylistically wise. And if Roiman Villa or Roiman, whatever you're going to call him, Villa, if he can survive early, I think you in for a treat. If he can survive the early onslaught from Jarron Ennis, I think you in for a treat. But you ain't got to worry about him dancing and slipping and moving. He gonna be right there. But I think his guard got to be tight if he gonna kind of survive early. He got to be a better counter puncher, and he got to bring his jab to the fight. But if he's going to be offensive, he still got to bring his jab and start off fast. He got to take the air out of Boost tires with some body work, and then started to close the distance on him. So I actually think it's a stay on this Virgil Ortiz and Ennis and Roiman Villa. I think it's a great fight, but I just don't like the way they doubled up on the same date for Virgil and Jarron Ennis. They should have 2 separate dates. And we know I don't think Virgil is officially locked in at July 8th date, but they knew what Golden Boy was doing, and I feel like and maybe the Borgata in Atlantic City wasn't open, but Ruben Villa, I keep on this dude Ruben Villa, talking about the other guy. Roiman Villa, dude, he pretty much going to enemy territory, but being Colombian, probably going in Mexico and different backyards, he'll be all right. But either it's gonna go either this fight gonna be an early fight, 6 rounds and under for Jarron Ennis, or it's gonna be Jarron Ennis gonna really have to you're gonna really get this guy out of here, or got to earn a victory, or Ruben Villa gonna win this fight if it go into the championship round. So I'm actually excited about this fight for both men, and it was talks that they might find a different opponent. You would have people say, well, Jarron Ennis ducking Ruben Villa. I know they wanted Cody Crowley to fight Jarron Ennis, and the rumor was he priced himself out. And then, like today or the other day, he came out and said that he wouldn't mind fighting Jarron Ennis. So, hey, everything's changed. Dates changed, money changed, and all that. And people were saying, well, who can Keith Thurman fight? They said Keith Thurman had 4 opponents. And I'm going to tell y'all the lowdown on Keith Thurman and, some whatever box rumors that I do got. I got a couple of them that I really wasn't going to make a video about. I'm going to get to them real soon before we get to this Thurman shit. And, but yeah, man, I look forward to it. I think I might go out there to the Las Vegas of the East. Kind of explained earlier, I just think the infrastructure of Jersey and in the water, not being too far off the water, that what's that, the Atlantic Ocean, that the New York kind of border, whatever, I think kind of being off that major ocean, how strict New York is with guns, and being close to New York, being in Jersey, it kind of disarmed Atlantic City from being the new Vegas or being the East Coast Vegas, because you couldn't really decriminalize the shit that you need. You couldn't really legalize prostitution, even though it's really like legal everywhere. But you couldn't legalize prostitution. You couldn't really, at one point legalize marijuana like that. I know they gun laws a little bit easier than New York. So everything, that's what makes Las Vegas interesting, because everything is fucking legal. See people walking around the strip smoking weed, drinking alcohol. So they would have to clean up Atlantic City a lot. And then technically the Las Vegas Strip is, guess what? It's not in Las Vegas. It's in Paradise, Nevada, technically. So they would have to clean up a lot, and they had to put a lot more money into the city of Atlantic City for it to be there. It's just too much that has to go into the city to compete with Vegas outside of the money. And now Vegas getting professional teams, and they starting to take the play away from California as well too. Open carry, a lot of people going there. And they a little bit more conservative laws than everybody, more conservative than California. So think about it, dude. But I think I might. If I don't go to Spence and Crawford, which I try to get tickets, I'm like, okay, I got one for $405 and shit. And then they told me, well, you got to buy the seat next to you too. So I had to spend $800, $900 on 2 tickets. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Even though I could have reselled the second ticket, but I'm like, nah, bro, I'm good. And then I was like, all right, I'll buy the $800 tickets, and then they wouldn't let me buy them. I'm like, dude, I ain't about to play this game. So real quick, what happened with the Spencer Crawford tickets was, all right, you online early, and then they say, well, we only got premium tickets. But somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was, shout out to him, he said that you just had to keep refreshing the page, and they were slowly dispensing tickets. So you wait in line for tickets, you say, well, they all sold out. No, they were slowly releasing tickets. So they didn't release all the tickets at once. Because I went on an hour later, then it was some tickets into it was the nosebleeds that was still available. And I told Kobe, you just had to refresh your page, and they were just slowly releasing tickets. They didn't release them all at once. And at the end of the day, ain't nobody got time to play all them games and play their media credential games and the closed circuit games and just want to be there. Dude, that'd be the second time I go to Vegas and didn't get the opportunity to see the fight that I came to see. Yeah, I can go see a magic show or some motherfuckers dance or whoever doing a residency there, but I to the point like that, dude. I told somebody, I told Town, I was like, bro, I just save my money. I'll go out to see the Lions play Kansas City or spend it on some season tickets or some shit like that. Just to be real. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just going out there just to go shopping and shit, that's cool. But I can do that in Chicago and not be as hot. So I'm thinking about still going. I reached out to some people, give me some tickets or whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, I can be at the crib, dude. I go to Twin Peaks where all the women half naked. I can stay at the crib, order the pay-per-view. I go to Dave & Buster's, pick up a single mother there, and I'm joking. But yeah, fuck that, dude. Because I told y'all a couple years ago what they was gonna do. They was gonna sit here, tell you nobody wanted to buy the fight, stream the fight out. Then they was gonna do some bullshit with the tickets. That's what they've been sued for this shit. I already went over that. And then And then the very same people that wanted to see the fight then disrespect us and then wonder why a nigga want to go ahead and stream the fight and say fuck these niggas. That's what they want you to do. Oh, I told you the brothers, the black people wouldn't buy the fight and all this. That's what they really want you to do, to create this frustration. But it ain't about not having the money and not having the means. They don't even give you the opportunity, bro. You know, and that's why nobody really like fuck with boxing, dude. You keep disrespecting your fans. And some sports can get away with disrespecting their fans and doing shit because the product is good. Think about it. If you're a woman or a dude, you got a significant other or a guy that's just not this fuck the shit out your ass. You know, they're gonna be able to get away with it more. Or a motherfucker fine as hell, she bad at a motherfucker. She gonna give her be able to get away with more. You know, that's only gonna last for so long though. So, but yeah, man. Talk about Keith Thurman and Yordenis Ugas. And I mean Keith Thurman is just, dude. Let me tell you about this guy. But I'm gonna get into the rumors before I get into Keith Thurman and Ugas, right? Because I want y'all to wait on these rumors and I don't never say nothing. Then I ain't gonna make a video. And then nigga, you ain't gonna never know what happened. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna wait on the Thurman rumor for a minute. So after I do the rumors, I do comment section, and I get to keep Thurman and Ugas, and then we finish up with Spence and Crawford. So I got a couple rumors from two sources today. So I already told y'all the Benavidez rumor. We all know Oscar Nevadez and Nevete is August 12th. It's gonna be in Glendale, Arizona. I mean, I got people in Arizona. That'd be interesting. I told y'all Eastside Cruz and Tank was in talks. Also told y'all that Jarron, my people say PPC Jarron Ennis never pushed for the Terence Crawford fight. Obviously, you know, they talking about Benavidez and Canelo, but I heard Canelo waiting on Bivol, and if Bivol and Canelo don't fight, more likely to be Benavidez and Bivol still waiting fight in August, and that'll be his way of avoiding Arthur Better BF for the here and now, who Arthur Better BF fighting August 19th or something like that versus Callum Smith in Montreal. They say Devin Haney really is trying to pursue Regis Prograis. I'm gonna say the Keith Thurman thing. Also, I heard there's no plans for Jamal Charlo to come back into boxing. So they have no news on Jamal Charlo. Nothing new on Jamal Charlo. That's big Charlo, 160-pound Charlo. So coming up 2 years. This month is coming up on 2 years, and he ain't fought. And some people behind the scenes saying Jamal Charlo is done now. Just putting like sources together. I heard that Al Heyman don't have nothing in line for Jamal Charlo. That's what I heard. I heard Jamal. I heard he ain't got nothing in line for Jamal Charlo. That when Jamal Charlo pulled up in February at whatever fighting at the Stub Hub on Bivol, that was his his way of telling Al Heyman that he was ready to get back in the ring and he was ready to fight, right? And so yeah, that was his way of telling him he was ready to get back in the ring and ready to fight, and they don't really have a plan for him. I heard that Showtime, just putting sources together, that Showtime really don't, want to put him back in the back on the scene. They really don't plan on doing nothing with Jamal Charlo. So yep, they really don't want to do nothing with Jamal Charlo. So I don't know if it's the opponents or them waiting on Canelo or they tired of waiting and stressing or whatever. But right now, I heard months ago this was no plan for Jamal Charlo. I got an update from down there in Houston that they basically ain't nothing on deck for him. So I don't know about Jamil Charlo. Can't really speak on him. Didn't ask. Could ask. Could ask about it, but yeah, ain't no real plan for him. So yep, so nothing yet. So maybe something come down the pipeline, but we in the summer. Frank Martin got a date. Jarron got a date. Keith coming up on the date. Heard ain't nothing popping with Gary Russell Jr. neither. Yep. So we was trying to figure out, is it because of his weight or whatever, but I don't know. But ain't nothing popping with Gary Russell neither. So I heard he on the shelf and he basically a full-time trainer at this point. So all that posturing he talking about moving up ain't nothing. And from what I heard, ain't nothing on deck for him. What up, my boy Ty? Shout out to Philly. I know he gonna be in AC for that Boots fight. Errol going to sleep. He said July 25th is a cool boy fight. Yeah, he fighting over there in Japan. BT over there. Shout out to True School Sports. So I'm excited for. I know you are following, but it's in Japan on like Tuesday, so it'll be like 4 a.m. I think it's like maybe like it might be like 5 a.m. I'll be up for that shit though. I ain't gonna lie. I get up early to go to work anyway. He's showing Javier Jarron needs his own, in my opinion. It's about time. You know, being on a Spence co-feature, dog. Sometimes you got to spread your wings. You got to bet on yourself. But it'd been dope for him to be the co-feature, not Esau Cruz. Vila said pound for pound is Bud. I mean, a lot of fighters feel that way. You know, a lot of times it's just preference, but I'm going to get into that. Joseph Bailey, salute. He said definitely. And New York folding the same week as Bud and Spence. Yep. He said that's true. I won Johnson, salute. Yeah, you just keep refreshing. I ain't know that shit. If I knew that shit, I probably would have some tickets, bro. Damn, Al should let Jamel walk. It ain't, man, dude. It's about having power over these niggas, man. It's about power over these niggas, man. It ain't, man, dude. When you talk about, it ain't about money. It's about controlling the dude. You know, that's why you hear a lot of these women talk about, well, you know, all these men want to do is control me. That shit be in the back of their head, bro. Most of the dudes I know, that shit and ain't shit. I don't think they main objective is to control a woman. I think a lot of the dudes just want to be in a comfortable situation or minimum nagging, which is pretty much hypocrisy. But it's just about control with Al Heyman. That's what I think it is. Butt breaking and controlling. When you sign them papers, giving him all that control, he's a control freak. Simple as that. Tony, what's going on? He said, I'll be in the building. AC holler at me. Yeah, man, if I end up going out there. If I don't go to Spencer Crawford, I might slide out there. But yeah, the stepdaughter graduated, so I got to do something for her. I think I was telling about Chicago to go shopping. Maybe she ain't old enough to do shit in Atlantic City, so I can't spend that. But yeah, they used to have a mega bus. Did they ever start the mega bus back up? Yeah, I don't think the mega bus. My grandma used to hop on that joint and go to gamble in Atlantic City all the time. Yeah, I don't think they got the mega bus back in Detroit no more. Yeah, the pandemic fucked up everything, bro. Like you used to be able to hop on a mega bus for a couple dollars. Yeah, they ain't started back in Detroit. Nope. It ain't got in Ohio. Yep. You used to be able to hop on that mega bus for like a couple dollars and go straight to motherfucking Atlantic City, bro. Please tell me Fred it will bring his goofy ass to the fight. I mean, that's a great question. A lot of people got issues with people, and they're not just talking about Fred ass. A lot of people got issues with people. We'll see what the fuck they're gonna be about. But for me, it's too much. If I go to the fight, it's too much women to be around and too much shit to be around to be beefing and shit. But niggas' energy be totally different when you meet them in person. Niggas be staring. Niggas don't be really wanting no smoke, bro. Real talk. I done had Errol Spence fans, confront me at Walmart, and it's cool. My opinions is not gonna change, and my stance, my energy won't change. Same person. But like I said, like I told people, man, you know how much security be on the strip, dog. And then if a nigga really chasing you, dude, oof, I don't really think it's gonna. I mean, shit. He might show he don't live far. He live out in L.A. I don't really think fan of box salute. I don't know. That dude stay disrespecting fighters and running in his mouth. I mean, yeah, he be interviewing with the same fighters he be talking shit about. Like he was talking shit with that woman about Tony Harrison, then had him on the show. I don't be saying shit. I don't get involved in all that. So why you think start making fights in the summer? Because ain't nobody fight. He said, why you think they start making fights in the summertime this year? Because ain't nobody fighting nobody fought really last fall. Nobody fought last winter. So so basically ain't nobody really fighting the spring like that. You had Tank get a fight in the winter, Tank get a fight in the spring. I mean, what was the biggest fight this spring? Tank and Ryan. Devin and Loman. I mean, who else? I mean, look how many people you ain't had fight before I kind of get into Keith Thurman. Look how many people you really ain't had fight, bro. You ain't had Errol Spence fight. You ain't had Terence Crawford fight. Um, Josh Taylor ain't fought yet. They'll be fighting next week. Shit. Who else you got? Gary Russell ain't fought. Leo Santa Cruz ain't fought. I'm going down and weight, going up now. Jamel Charlo ain't fought. So I mean, you got a lot of guys who ain't fought. Lubin about to fight, but he ain't fought yet. Lara ain't fought yet. Danny Garcia ain't fought yet. Jamal Charlo ain't fought yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of guys who ain't even got in there and mixed it up. So yeah, you got a lot of guys who ain't fought yet. You got a lot of guys who ain't mixed it up yet, but let's get into Keith and Yordenis Ugas. So I heard that Yordenis Ugas is the one that's pushing for the Keith Thurman fight. Now, Keith said he had 4 opponents. Keith said he had 4 opponents lined up. He said yes to all 4. I heard that Yordenis Ugas is pushing for the fight, and it don't sound like Keith Thurman is trying to fight Yordenis Ugas. Yep. So, so I heard they in talks, but he said Ugas, hopefully Keith wants to take it. Ugas wants it. He is pushing for it. So Ugas is pushing for the fight more than Keith is. Now, at the end of the day, Keith said they offered him another date, but he didn't feel like he was in shape. He just had another daughter or whatever. His weight has always been his biggest fight. So it don't even sound like Keith Thurman trying to fight Yordenis Ugas. And maybe Keith Thurman holding out for more money for the Ugas fight. Maybe the business side of boxing is not good enough for him to fight Yordenis Ugas. I don't know exactly what it is. So I can't really tell you, but they said Yordenis Ugas was the one pushing for the fight. Now, Ugas was on social media not too long ago saying that, that he was itching to get back in the ring and he missed boxing. And now for the first part, I just think he probably see Keith Thurman as an opportunity to get back on TV now or get back in the ring and make some money and be active. Now, that fight going to be in Vegas. The fight going to be in August. Keith said it's not going to be too far. It is, Ugas, after the Errol Spence fight. So apparently they planning on putting that shit on pay-per-view. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Yordenis Ugas feel like he healed up. I seen him training with Roberto Ramirez. I mean, is it a fight that can go either way? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Neither one of them throw a lot of punches. Yordenis Ugas more of a plotter, great counter puncher. So maybe you can catch Keith Thurman with some shit. But stylistically wise, I mean, it's not going to be a lot of punches thrown. Keith Thurman carried a bigger punch. But Yordenis Ugas' face, will it hold up? But can Yordenis Ugas catch Keith Thurman with that shot and drop him? Keith Thurman continues to have more and more inactivity in between his fights. And for Yordenis Ugas, I mean, can he win enough early rounds and then close the gap on Keith and try to get Keith out of there late? But for whatever reason, Keith ain't too keen on taking that fight, and maybe Keith wanted a cheaper fight or a lesser opponent. I don't know, but Yordenis Ugas is the one that's really, pushing for that fight. So I don't know why Keith ain't. I mean, I ain't in the negotiations. I don't know if the money funny. I don't know if, maybe they want him to re-up with the contract. You just never know what it is. It may be, I feel like, that Keith Thurman should be able to make, good work at Yordenis Ugas. I think that I do think Yordenis Ugas has a better chance at winning a fight over Keith Thurman than Danny Garcia should have beaten Ersan Lara. Ersan Lara should stop, Danny Garcia, to be honest. He should lose a fucking round. I know he older and knowing his skill set, but I mean, it's a good fight. I don't think it should be on pay-per-view, but I get it. When you put Charles Martin and Luis Ortiz on paper, we ain't seen Luis Ortiz this year yet neither. We ain't seen Deontay Wilder. We ain't seen Andy Ruiz yet neither. I don't think we've seen Charles Martin this year, right? Because was he on the prelims, on the tank card? So a lot of these guys we ain't seen this year. And Yordenis Ugas, he need to make some money, and he older and he need to be active. Keith Thurman should have been, Keith Thurman should be trying to get in where he fit in at. And then, he's still reluctant to get in the he kind of reluctant to get in the ring with Yordenis Ugas. He should be, he should be thirsty. He should be fiending like Jodeci to get back in the ring. Keith Thurman just need to be honest with himself, bro. He missed the boat on fighting Errol Spence, getting his last payday. He talking about, I want to fight till I'm 37-40. It's over with. Keith Thurman has no more desire to fight. Al Heyman took Keith Thurman to the toy store and let Keith Thurman buy every toy in the store. And now Keith Thurman really don't have no desire for toys. He overpaid Keith Thurman too soon. Keith Thurman don't love to box no more. Maybe he love to talk about boxing. Keith Thurman is no longer competitive. Keith Thurman no longer has the fire in my belly. Keith Thurman is done as a fighter, bro. He's a soulless fighter. Because remember, he said during the pandemic, he turned down the fight in the pandemic because he didn't want to fight without fans. You know, then he said they had another fight day for him to fight already. He turned that shit down. He said, oh, my weight wasn't right. I'm like, all right, bro. Then they said, what? After, I think a couple years ago, he said he caught, COVID and gained 20 pounds just Netflix and chilling. He gonna fuck around and get hurt, bro. He gonna fuck around and get hurt, and so if he don't want to get in the ring and fight Yordenis Ugas, was he really gonna try to sign the contract and fight Errol Spence? All right, he said Charles Martin fought this year. All right, it must have been on the Tank and Ryan prelim. Do we really want to get in the ring with Errol Spence? No, he didn't really want in the ring with Errol Spence, no matter what he was training for. This dude got the heart of a rabbit, bro, and that's just what it is. You get an opportunity to get in there with Yordenis Ugas and make something shake, and you still, I don't know if I should be able to fight him, man. It's just time for him to retire, bro. Then you're going to be fighting in the aftermath of Spencer Crawford. Who the fuck want to watch that shit? Who want to go from eating steak and then you got to go back to eating motherfucking Spam and Vienna sausages and shit? Nobody, come on. Come on, this ain't going to get your fix. You know what I mean? I mean, somebody else fighting in August too, I believe. Talks about AJ coming back in August. He said he don't know nothing about no Dillian White. But, I don't know why he wouldn't want to fuck up Yordenis Ugas, and it might be for the interim WBC title. So I don't understand why he wouldn't want to get in the ring with Yordenis Ugas. But like I said, I don't know what the contract, the money look like. Maybe they want him to sign an extension or whatever it is. But I just really think, man, he should walk away from the sport. I really think he should walk away from the sport. Yeah, Jared Anderson fighting in July. I really think he should walk away from the sport. If he don't want to fight Yordenis Ugas from a competitive or competitor standpoint of view, he should walk away. He should literally walk away from the sport. Why you want to get in there and get hurt? He don't love what he doing no more. He should be fiending to fight Yordenis Ugas. Get him out of there. He fight what? Let's say 2 or 3 weeks after Spencer Crawford. Challenge the winner if it ain't no rematch. Talk some shit. Entice them to fight you. Put yourself in position to get a big payday. Then go from there. It's a great position to be in. Even if it was a week before the fight or a couple weeks after the fight. While that fight is still on everybody's mind, which people think that's going to be an instant classic, while that fight on people's mind, guess what? Then you could say, well, look what I can do. They won't stand welterweight and fight me and start to get on your barrage to try to force a fight. Fuck you want to come back against, dude? I mean, who do you want to fight? What, you want to bring Kell Brook out of retirement, bro? Who you want to fight? Cody Crowley? This dude, man, should literally walk away from boxing. If he don't want to fight Ugas from a competitive standpoint of view, he should walk away from boxing. Literally. He say, fuck this, dude. I don't want to do this no more. Let me go get a microphone in my hand. That's what he should do. He should go get a microphone and just start a YouTube channel and he should start a YouTube channel and he should call fights ringside. He'd be better than half the people on ringside, especially on his own. But okay, we can move on. We talked about that. Let's talk about, Spencer Crawford. So you got a lot of these aerosexuals, Errol Spence fans who I ain't seen. Some of them, some of the people that you talk shit, they deleted their Twitter page or deactivated their Twitter page. I ain't seen them in a while. They didn't have no desire to talk boxing. And like I said, I knew it wasn't a whole bunch of boxing. I know it wasn't a whole bunch of boxing out there going on, but it was some. You ain't hear from none of these dudes. A lot of Texas niggas disappeared in boxing. Like I said, I ain't seen the Errol Spence, Aerosexual in a long time. They ain't in the Discord talking shit. They don't be on social media talking. When they made this fight, then you kind of started to slowly see them come back. Most of them was linked at the hip with Deontay Wilder. Devin Haney brought some of them back, and they've been quiet. And some things in boxing kind of overshadow Spencer Crawford, Tank Davis, Loma Devin, Shakur Stevenson. You had some things in there that started to overshadow the event, but a lot of these dudes lost the passion to stop content creating. It was like, well, one of us start content creating, the rest of y'all niggas can't content create. Come on. You build a subscriber base up. You did all that work. You fill out the algorithm. You did all that shit talking just to stop creating content because you don't care about the rest of the sport. You don't care about building a well-rounded fan base. You don't care about building a foundation and learning on the sport of boxing. That's crazy to me. All that work they put in, all that yelling, all that screaming, all that, and what turned around and happened was, even if Terence Crawford do lose this fight, Errol Spence debunked himself that they was holding him back from fighting Terence Crawford. That's what it is. And then people probably say, well, Terence Crawford was, it went from Terence Crawford fucked the fight up last year because he went to fight Avanesian. There wasn't going to be no fight last year. It wasn't no contract. It wasn't nothing of substance last year. That's why he went on and fought. And now, is that going to be part of his excuse? Well, Errol Spence was lethargic. He wasn't in rhythm. He wasn't in any type of rhythm or nothing like that. Hey, that's his fault. Al Heyman, it was supposed to be, I'll never go against Al Heyman. It was his fiduciary duty to do what's best for Errol Spence. And if that was Errol Spence getting in the ring with Keith Thurman to get ready for Terence Crawford, it was up to him to make that happen. For Al Heyman to have all this power and these hot wire contracts, he can't force these motherfuckers to do shit. Excuse my language. Excuse my French. So that's crazy to me. He can't force them to do nothing. And maybe it's like, I got 450 fighters. You don't want to do something, I rotate the next one in. And it could be that type of mentality. It could be. But it's his fiduciary duty to all his clients as an advisor, manager, whatever you want to call yourself, to do what's right by these guys. And if you have they trust and you have their attention, then you tell them, okay, this is what we need you to do, man, to be ready for this fight. Trust me, ride with me. We got the dates. And it's what it's going to boil down is to, if Crawford win, well, he had a tune-up. Or he was a more healthier fighter, or this, that, and the third. Hey. A lot of these dudes coming back just to get their last, get the last little puffs out of the vape. They found that vape in the bed or under the couch or whatever. They like, oh, it's a little bit left in this vape. So what they about to do is try to grind up as much money out of this leading up to this fight as they can in the next couple months. And I ain't mad at them. Like I said, I ain't against nobody on YouTube. Do what you do. People like to be lied to. People like to be massaged. People like to be finesse. Some people like to be told the truth too. Man, it's a lane for you, bro. I ain't lying to you. Some people like to speak hardcore boxing. Some people like to mix it up with other sports. Get it how you live. There's billions of people on this planet that's watching YouTube at any given time. Do what you do. I ain't going back and forth with you. I ain't going to go back and forth with what I said or something I said, this, that, and the third. Hey, guess what? Terence Crawford win. We going to talk some shit. Terence Crawford lose. Errol Spence win. We still going to talk some shit. Life goes on. Us who've been fans of boxing, been fans of sports, we done been through sports heartbreak. those who have participated in sports, we didn't lost championships, we didn't win games, we didn't blew layups, we didn't seen our teammates score on their own bucket and shit and do dumb shit. We didn't seen it all. We didn't, felt like we got cheated and missed basketball teams and missed football teams or got cut off baseball teams, whatever it is, track and field, and we cried. That's real sports heartache. Seeing Roy Jones lose to Antonio Tarver, that was heartbreak. So we already went through the ups and downs. We already took it on the chin before. So it ain't shit to him. What you do is you congratulate Errol Spence. He still conducted himself like a hoe and strung this fight out longer than what it had to be. But hey, credit to him. Is there any doubt in my mind that he can win this fight? No, he can't win this fight. He put his shoes and his socks on. He put his protector and his gloves on, just like Terence Crawford. Anything can happen. He could literally just be too big and strong. He could catch Terence Crawford. It could be an easy night for Errol Spence. It literally could. I've seen stranger things happen in boxing. He could be beating Terence Crawford for half the fight, and it might turn on the punch. Terence Crawford can get old overnight. Errol Spence can get old overnight. You just never know. And people say, well, his style is so vanilla. He do the same thing over and over again. Look here, if I did something, how many fights he got? 27, 20. I did something that's working. Sometimes you just need one tool to get the job done. So I'm really getting into that. Oh, man, his versatility, he can't do this, he can't do that. Hey, sometimes, his length is going to cause a lot of problems for Terence Crawford. I keep telling y'all that. That length is going to be a problem for Terence Crawford early on. And Terence Crawford either going to have to establish his jab, and that's going to take away Terence Crawford jab or Errol Spence jab, or he's going to have to counter Errol Spence jab and counter what Errol Spence doing to stop him jabbing. But his key to victory is taking away Errol Spence's lead right hand. That's the first thing he got to do, and it depends on how long he able to take away that right hand, because what Errol Spence is going to do, Errol Spence is going to fight a very disciplined and careful fight. He's not going to be as reckless as he was against Yordenis Ugas. And if you watch, it's a video said, well, Errol Spence, 5 times Errol Spence got rocked. If you notice, about 75% of the times Errol Spence was rocked in those videos, he squared up. He was too square. And that's one thing about it is, if you going to make that mistake and be square, when you throw your straight left hand, he going to get knocked out. Unless he can hurt Terence Crawford first, but Terence Crawford can't take advantage of that. But if he gonna square up and not bring his jab to the table, he gonna lose that fight. He got a jab, and he got to stop squaring up when he throw that left hand. And when he square up, it's not like a quick square. When he throw a left hand, he square for a second, then he snap back into position. He get lazy. He get lazy in there. I don't think it's from a lack of focus or energy. It's just bad habits. That's when I was saying I felt that Mikey Garcia was more technical and more fundamental than Errol Spence, because he don't make those technical and fundamental mistakes. Didn't mean shit when they fought. But he didn't make those technical and fundamental mistakes when we talk about being too square. And he square up for a while. And when you talk about square, you notice how a boxer stands at an angle. When he throws a punch, or sometimes he just goes square. That means he's shoulder to shoulder. And you get Terence Crawford a full target, it's a problem. And people say, Terence Crawford get hit a lot too. Anytime you get off fighters who throw a lot of punches, they gonna get hit. It don't matter. Anytime you get two offensive-minded fighters who just, let's say they 51, 51-49, but they 51 more percent offense and 49% defense, they gonna get hit. Even a 50-50 offense-defense fighter who got a good balance, they going to get hit. Now if you're talking about 70-30, 80-20, yeah, defense to offense, 80 defense 20, yeah, it's going to be hard to hit them. Pernell Whitaker, that's what made Pernell Whitaker so good. Yeah, he got dropped a bunch of times in his career, but Pernell Whitaker was a volume puncher. He threw a lot of punches and still was pretty defensive. Mayweather early on, he threw a lot of punches and used a lot of angles. And I was kind of like looking at some of them videos, and some of the things you notice that could trouble Errol Spence what I noticed was the uppercut and just giving angles. That's the thing about it. If Terence Crawford can find angles and uppercuts and shoot around the guard, that's gonna be interesting. That uppercut is a punch that he's sitting for in the high guard. And that's anybody in the high guard. Anytime you get somebody around the high guard, I mean Arthur Abraham, versus Andre Durrell before it ended the way it ended. Andre Durrell and them figured out that guess what? When I throw punches and he in the high guard, he can't see the punches coming and he not gonna counter back. When he counter back, it's just it's a get off me punch. It's not a punch of it's not a calculated punch. So that's one thing you get guys in the high guard. They can't see that uppercut. They can't see you punching around the guard, and they can't see them angles. Unless you got a really, really tight guard. And Arthur Abraham had one of the tightest high guards that you will see. So that's just something to think about too. And then you talk about Terence Crawford, and anytime you throw punches, he gonna get touched. I mean, it's just what it is. Or Dennis Ugas had opportunities because Terence Crawford Errol Spence threw a lot of reckless punches. But one of the punches that get Terence Crawford is the overhand shots because he switched, so it don't matter. Them overhand shots in versus Felix Diaz, he made some adjustments where he started picking his backhand up, rolling them, but he still was getting hit with them overhand shots. And they very hard shots to get away from. Marcus McDonough had a lot of success with Adrian Broner with those overhand lefts and rights. So, but Errol Spence don't really loop his shots like that. And that's something that, I don't know if he got in his repertoire. But like I said before, a lot of people think it's going to be a classic, but you just never know. Once you been through what Errol Spence went through, been through what Terence Crawford been through, all the training camps and how your legs feel and it depends on how the cut is. And no matter if you was already ready, man, Father Time waits for no one. Waits for no one. You don't know how they're going to react to the body punches. I mean, we ain't really seen them get into the ring with the caliber fighter they about to fight. Styles, yeah, they might see some style. They both had extensive amateur background, so they both been in there with rhythmic guys. But everybody's stuck on where Errol Spence only can do one thing. Well, when you got a great chin, when you got good fundamentals, good technique, good footwork, you don't have to do shit too special. But Terence Crawford uphill battle is also going to be he going on enemy territory. And some people say, well, Al Heyman is probably pissed that Errol Spence, did this fight and want to prove a point. I can't argue nor against that argument. But do Terence Crawford feel the pressure where he got to get a stoppage? Because historically, he likes to get off to a slow start. Historically, Errol Spence likes to get off to fast starts. So, Amir Khan like to get off the fast starts. Terence Crawford started fast. Did Terence Crawford look to start fast in this fight? That's the question. Can he take a shot? Can he hide it? It's obviously an interesting fight, bro. And the Yordenis Ugas fight, in my mind, made this fight a lot closer than what I originally thought it was, because Errol Spence physically was trending in the wrong direction. He got that Declan Welsh guy in there. He trending in the right direction. I think it's more of a 60-40 fight. But I'm not opposed to people saying why it's 50-50. It's just a lot of things you don't know because they stepping into a different tier of fighter. They fighting two blue chippers fighting each other. You just don't know what's happening. Somebody might not be able to take the power, but a lot of people build their fan base on this fight. And when this fight negotiations started to go awry, when things started to get exposed, they disappeared. Now they will reappear again and try to rebuild their fan base. And the thing about the YouTube algorithm, it takes some time for you to get back into the algorithm. So if they would have continued to make videos of some sort, they would have remained in the algorithm, and then they would have been able to really step it up in this period in time, especially if it's a rematch. But this is why you never base your channel around one point of subject matter. Unless it's like a DUI video or something like that, or a self-help video or something like that. You just never build it around a limited topic. Boxing is a great topic to kind of build around because it doesn't have no off season, but that's kind of a gift and a curse. because the offseason in the NFL and NBA, especially NFL, is some of the most fruitful time for content creators and media. So, see why you think they start making fights? And okay, I read that one. If Bud gets a stoppage, I think it's possibly something ugly can happen in Vegas. I hope not, though. Man, they ain't stupid to go out there acting like no damn fool in Vegas. Either way, and they ain't gonna never invite no niggas back out to Vegas for a long time for a fight like this. But then again, you got to remember Tommy Hearns versus Sugar Ray Leonard and YBI was in the front row. There was gangster thugs. BMF showed that at some of them fights in Vegas. A lot of times it was a rendezvous meeting point for criminal activity. So SR6, what's the undercard? If you really are, if you already covered it, I thought Keith and Boots would have been a great. Keith Thurman not fighting Boots. I heard Eastside Cruz is going to be on the co-feature. That's all I really know. That's been known for like a year though. I don't know. No sports in summertime to compete with either. So yeah, it's definitely no Olympics. None of that. Why won't Mill fight Tim? I think he injured. I don't think they want to hand over. You gotta ask questions too now. I don't think they want to hand over the division over to Australia. Then everybody got to go to Australia and get it. So what if Terence Crawford beat Errol Spence, and then Tim Tszyu beat Jamel Charlo, then Al Hammond on control 47 and 54, even though he's not about to control 47 for too much longer anyway. Hopefully this trend that continues in the future. SRC, I heard that the rumor is Boots being on July 20. Well, Boots is fighting July 8th. It's July 8th in Atlantic City versus Roiman Villa. Keith become the new Mikey, just fighting for checks. Yeah, Mike, we all knew Mikey didn't love boxing. He was just good at it. Keith needs to be a full-time analyst. I agree. Neutral Natural Salute. Yeah, Charles Martin. Okay, I read that one. Charles Martin already fought. Support the channel. Cash App, $sign CJ Good 313. He said Big Baby in July. Yeah, I think I might go to that if I get credentialed. They didn't credential me for the Clarissa Shields fight, so I ain't about to waste my time and go down there tomorrow. I'm good. Yeah, I ain't about to waste my time, bro. Yeah, they ain't credential me, so I ain't going. I'm probably just about to go play Street Fighter and shit, I'm be chilling tomorrow. I'll probably watch it on TV, play Street Fighter, and then shit, that's it, dude. I'm on chill for the most part. And then it didn't even send me a notice whether they was gonna get in. So that's why I don't be applying for that shit. People be sending me, oh, you should apply. That's why I don't be applying for that shit. I'm good. If she was fighting Hannah Gabriel, I would have probably bought a ticket. I'd just be having other shit to do. I'll be trying not to spend money. He said, salute Chad CJ. Wouldn't be surprised if Ugas wins, but I wouldn't bet on it. Keith been semi-retired since 2020. Shout out to M Sports Talk. Cody Crowley beats Keith Thurman and Ugas. Yeah, I don't know, but you might be right on that one. He might be too much of a dog for both of them. What up, Henry? I see you. He said, and they know a lot of these say they know they just used it because they hated Buzz. Some of them are mad. The fights happen. It's happening. They like it better when they thought they were up because people believe Bud was stuck because they built the channel on a narrative, and Errol Spence on ESPN killed that whole narrative. They knew the truth just as I knew the truth. You hate somebody just because he won't give you an interview is crazy to me. Josh to say where he get all that support. I'm asking my cousin who they like they casual, but they say Earl Spence beating Terence Crawford. I laugh. I mean, because Showtime has the most PBC. Well, Showtime has the most recognizable brand right now. That's all they know. A lot of the fighters that Errol Spence got built off of, they came off HBO. His name was built off Keith Thurman, who fought on HBO. He fought Danny Garcia, who fought on HBO. He was synonymous with Manny Pacquiao. He's about to fight, who fought on HBO. So a lot of those names was grandfathered in that he fought on HBO. Mikey Garcia fought on HBO. You gotta understand, HBO was the most popular boxing platform at the time. So he never fought on HBO. He debuted on Showtime. PBC had already created and started over there, but a lot of the names that he fought, they were synonymous with the HBO brand, and that's what carried them over. I mean, shit, Leo Santa Cruz fought on HBO. Rigondeaux fought on HBO. A couple PBC guys fought on HBO. Amir Khan was affiliated with PBC. Matias fought on HBO. On HBO. I think Lamont Peterson might have fought on HBO. I could be wrong. He fought Tim Bradley on Showtime. So a lot of the guys that he was kind of in the same vein with, They had all fought on HBO and it was built up off of HBO. So, naturally, he kind of got that fan base. They became the most recognizable brand in boxing on Showtime based off of being grandfathered in on HBO. Like D say, I believe it, but Bud will figure it out. Yeah, it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be easy early on. He said Earl jab will be a problem for Bud. Remember Kell Brook jab? Yeah, it was. He said Kell Brook a different type of jab. But yeah, I think it's definitely gonna be a problem. His length is gonna be a problem early on, in general. He said Johnson most casual prefer Earl, no shade unless they're casuals who live in Omaha. The fight for Crawford starts when the first counter or when he takes the jab away. If not, Earl gonna eat. Yep. Earl just gonna stay behind his height. But Terence Crawford got a lot of length too. So it's really just gonna come down. It really too the everything I said, the jab, but it's really gonna come down to that footwork too. I think you might see Terence Crawford pick his feet up and make Earl pick his feet up. And people say, well, he ain't did that since he been at 47. He older. I think you might see him bring out his feet, dude. I mean, I'm gonna just throw something out there. I think you gonna see some version of the Victor Postal Terence Crawford. I'll listen to something that his daddy said. I posted on my short. He said if Terence don't want to get hit, he won't get hit. And I think what you gonna see is Terence Crawford is gonna go out there. He gonna move a lot versus Errol Spence. I think he gonna move a lot, and he gonna use movement angles, and he gonna punch off the pivot, off the move. He gonna punch off the move. I think he gonna punch off the move. He gonna make Errol Spence pick up his feet, and Errol Spence gonna have to cut the ring off. So when he picking up and moving his feet, feinting and moving and using angles, he gonna use that to frustrate Errol Spence and take his jab away and take his output away. He gonna make Errol Spence, when Errol Spence plant, he gonna move off the spot and go. He gonna keep him moving. He gonna be feinting. He gonna fight him. He gonna fight him just like he did Victor Postal. But I think the difference is gonna be that I think once he establishes a rhythm with his movement, then I think he might just take it to Errol Spence and drown him middle to late in that fight. That's what he's gonna try to do. He's gonna try to get a rhythm of outboxing Errol Spence. He's gonna be making Errol Spence miss and countering them, and he's gonna be punching on the move. I'm just a feeling. I'm just a feeling. Just thinking about how upright Victor Postal is and how upright Errol Spence is. Errol Spence got more Melon in his upright game, more American, but I think he gonna outbox Errol Spence, and then I think he gonna try to it's unlike with Victor Postal. Then I think he gonna go stationary, and then I think he gonna try to take him out. He gonna try to close the show. So I think you're gonna see Terence Crawford pick his feet up. Now at the end of the day, how much juice left in them legs to do that? But I think you're gonna see him pick his feet up. I think that's the way he gonna take away Errol Spence's jab. He gonna move Errol Spence off the spot. He gonna be punching on the move, and he showed so much versatility in his game. That Victor Postal fight was pretty much his game coming full circle, and I think Errol Spence need to be prepared for that. I think he need to be prepared for that because I think Sean Porter kind of exposed some things that he has a difficulty finding a North Star, finding a jab when he got to move an opponent. And Sean Porter chose to kind of, jump in and out, stay low. But I think Terence Crawford, I think you're going to see Victor Postal, Terence Crawford leg movement. That's what I think you're going to see. And I think the pride in him is going to say once he start getting into a rhythm moving and boxing, then I think he's going to start coming towards Errol Spence and, trying to push him back and then trying to put punches together. But I think you're going to see a very slick offensive to defensive Terence Crawford. And that's the way he's going to take away. I don't think he's going to sit there like he did with Kell Brook and try to figure him out. I don't think he's going to sit there and walk and go to him like, Ugas Kavalaskis. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see him on them toes, in and out, picking and, feinting and picking and getting off. And the crazy thing about Victor Postal fight is he generated power off the pivot, off the move. He looked like a Floyd Mayweather in there, to be honest. Young Floyd. So that's what I think. I don't think he's gonna sit in there with him. This is my opinion. But it's definitely getting hit, and Errol is too. He can be made to lose focus more easily than Bud, it seems. I mean, yeah, Errol, I think because of the injuries, bro. I think Bud is emotionally driven a little bit more in there. Errol is more stoic in there. But yeah, of lately, yes, with him dropping the mouthpiece and him losing I don't know what the fuck that shit about. That's the only reason I would say that. At 35, Pernell got watched by Trinidad age man. Well, then again, too, I mean, Trinidad fucking ended his career off like at light heavyweight or cruiserweight, too. Pernell Whitaker was a smaller guy. You got to remember that, too. Pernell Whitaker was a smaller guy. And then Pernell Whitaker had other things going to come on that I'm not going to speak on. Rest in power. Also, we'll see who's the better body snatcher is, too. Yeah, that'll be interesting. He said Trooper Sweeby probably had a bit more wear and tear than Bud. He fought some monsters. Man, how many fights Pernell Whitaker had? It's coming up on his anniversary. Dude had he had 45 fights. I mean, he fought Trinidad in 99, bro. He made a debut in 84. Trinidad was fucking, he ended it like off at cruiserweight or some shit like that. Errol Spence don't make adjustments in the ring. I disagree with that. I think he does make adjustments. I just don't think it's the adjustments that you guys want to see. You see to the naked eye. He makes adjustments. He does. He's gonna always try to dog you out, Errol. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he is. He said Sweepy also had, okay, I'm not getting into that. I said I wouldn't get into that. Not getting into that. Support the channel, Cash App, $sign CJ Good 313. Errol don't take punches the same since the wreck. Well, we don't know. We gotta wait and see. Don't know. Maybe he stepped up in competition. Maybe it's the weight drainage. For sure, casuals then into Errol because the brand is more household name. Savage Life. What up with Jamal James welterweight pitcher? He just fell off. Yeah, I haven't heard nothing about Jamal James. Shout out to Minnesota. Lala D said maybe also EJ hanging with rappers than more with rappers more than Bud. Matters of fact, I don't think Bud hangs with any rappers. I mean, that's his homeboy. That's on me, man. Salute, Lathers. Henry said, "What is the AEO? See when you describe the arm reaches." Pause. Oh yeah, pause. He said, "I think he's going to move, but not too much. I think you might be surprised. I think he about to really move. Maybe not because he's older. It wouldn't be something if it come down the corners alone at the final round. It would be something. Yeah, I think both fighters smart enough to know what they need to do. To be honest, I ain't really heard Derek James say too much in the corner. Bomax said some things in there, but Freddie Roach run like that. You know what you got to do. I mean, we didn't cover all bases, and at this point, it's more about motivation. If Bud can cut Spence's work rate down, it's going to be a long night for Spence, and that's why he would pick up the fight. The counter punches cut the work rate down by body punching, being slicker, being defense to offense, but he can't be too defensive. He got to counter because then they're going to take the ineffective aggression and give it to him. It's going to be a pro Spence crowd out there in Nevada. That counter uppercut might be the knockout punch. Yeah, man, I seen a couple opponents get him. He give you Errol just square up a little bit too much. That's something today. I mean, maybe that's just the way he generated his left hand power. If Spence can cut off the ring and make Bud fight in the pocket, it's going to be a long night for Bud. I'm not too sure about that. It'll be interesting. If he can physically bully him in them corners, it will be. But just cutting off the ring, you know what I'm saying? This is going to be interesting because Bud can generate power off the back foot. He don't have to be on balance. He don't have to be completely on the front foot. He can be fading away and he can generate power. That's the difference. In close corners, he still can generate power. That's the difference. So even if he backing him up, he gonna have to be hurting him. He gonna have to hurt him. But Carlos Baltimore, he bullied Floyd Mayweather in them corners, and Floyd still was able to get out them corners. Some of them dudes just got great reflexes and great legs. So that's the thing about it. said he's at least going to definitely happen at least for a few rounds. I think. I mean, I don't. I mean, I ain't sure, bro, about him getting them in the corner. I think y'all may be surprised, bro. I think y'all may be surprised by his game plan. Bud kind of low key underrated in the clinch. I mean, if it's a fight on the inside, bro, I'm telling y'all, man, who gonna win the inside fight? Errol Spence cannot fight on the inside. That's what I seen. He stand man, he square up too much and he stand too tall when he on the inside, bro. Overhand right, overhand left or right to do it for Terence Crawford on the inside. Profound Dreamer, you're a real one. Keep it respectful. And Pernell, yeah, I ain't getting to all that. Vinny Ochoa, salute. Remember, he punched Roger Mayweather in the chest before they fought. That shit was wild. When Earl fought Ugas, he was square up king. I mean, in the majority of that, sometimes he got rocked, or people so called say he got knocked. That rocked in that Earl Spence 5 times he got rocked video. He about 3 of them joints he squared up on. I don't think he respected Ugas's power. I think Bud might win a majority or 11 round KO. We gotta see. That dude stay disrespecting fighters and running his mouth. You talking about Fred? Why you think they start making fights? Okay, but the chat is starting over, so I don't know why it does that. Okay, he says Shakur does that too, right? Power off on the back foot. Yeah, I mean he just got great balance. He's a great technical fighter. Shout out to Vinny Ochoa too. I see if I ain't say it. He's just a great technical fighter. He's just a great technical fighter, bro. So he always gonna be on balance. It's gonna take a guy that come forward and don't have no respect for him to give Jarron Ennis run for his money. I mean, Shakur Stevenson a run for his money. That's what it's gonna take. Somebody who don't respect this, who ain't gonna show his power no respect. Somebody's gonna come in on somebody like Julio Cesar Chavez, Roberto Duran, something like that. So hopefully somebody like that. But don't forget to subscribe to one of the podcast platforms right here. You can hit the regular link tree. This will be on a podcast right sometime after the show. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, a bunch more. Appreciate if y'all, rate the podcast. Appreciate that. But let me get out of here. Also be on YouTube at the Boxing 101 playlist. Peace.